Hello, my name is Leah Bostany, and I'm a Catholic missionary for college students and a lifelong Maronite Catholic. I'd like to share a little bit with you about authentic masculinity and femininity. Have you ever stopped to wonder why God created us male and female? I studied biology in college, and it was always interesting to me how some species can reproduce without distinct male or female traits. But God, in his infinite wisdom, created us to be the highest point of creation, and he chose to make us male and female. Why would God create us this way? The answer goes a lot deeper than biology, although that's part of it. As Catholics, we believe that all of creation points back to our Creator and reveals something about who he is, just like a painting can tell us a lot about its artist. God the Father transcends a physical body, but God the Son was made incarnate as a man, Jesus, with a physical body. In this way, Jesus was sent to model for all men how to be authentically masculine, and for all women, his bride, the church, and his own mother, Mary, show us how to be authentically feminine. When we talk about authentic femininity, there are wonderful pieces of scripture and writings of the saints that we can look to for guidance. One of these is a letter by St. John Paul the Great entitled Mulieris Dignitatem, Letter to Women. John Paul II points to 4 qualities that make up what he calls the feminine genius: receptivity, sensitivity, generosity, and maternity. These qualities are innate to the dignity and nature of all women, regardless of whether they marry or have children or enter religious life. We as women can look to the example of our mother Mary, who was receptive of the graces God gave her, sensitive to the needs of others, generous in her sufferings for the purification of the world alongside Jesus' sufferings, and maternal. As our mother, she protects us and guides us to the heart of her Son. And we are all called to maternity. Whether or not we have physical children, we are all called to guide and protect others to the heart of Jesus. St. John Paul the Great does not have any writings on the masculine genius, but we can infer from what he said about women and Jesus' own example what the masculine genius means. To be authentically masculine means to lead with humility, to be of service, to protect what is valuable, and to pursue chivalry. We look to Jesus' own example, washing the feet of his disciples as he led them in the faith, and ultimately dying for his bride, the church. These acts of leadership and service were not out of dominance, but out of love and sacrifice. The world today often tries to tell us that feminism means sameness between the sexes, that women should be able to do all that men do and contribute to society in the same ways that men contribute. But if we look to the church, she teaches that men and women are equal and complementary. Our dignity is the same, but our gifts and identities are not. True complementarity does not mean that the man dominates while the woman sits back in inferiority, nor does it mean that the woman takes charge and puts down the man. No, complementarity is about mutual submission in love and service. The world needs the humble leadership of men and the emotional guidance and tenderness of women. This complementarity reveals the nature of God our Father, who is all-encompassing, strong, and merciful. As Maronites, we can look to our divine liturgy to reveal the qualities of God's nature. The anaphora of St. James says, "In the beginning, you formed us from the earth in your image and gave us the joy of paradise. When we transgressed your command, you did not reject us, but called us back by the law as a merciful Father." The complementarity of God's justice and his mercy point to our compatibility between the sexes, and they show us the ways in which men and women can guide one another toward heaven, toward a greater understanding of the fullness of God.